Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, dope people? It's time to Wake Up Woodward. We rolling this morning with the entire starting five.
Hey, Charles.
Plus the six-man Justin in the building. That's Flannel. That's KG. JB Smooth. Matt Broder, what up, though, brother?
What up, Joe? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's your boy, Detroit Kool-Aid, as well. Look, we got a fun show for you guys today. A really, really fun show. I'm looking forward to this, except for maybe one of the topics. It's one of those ones you got to talk about for the therapy of it all. But man, oh man, oh man, Broder, in the group chat, I get what you're saying, bro.
You know?
I know.
You know?
I know. Hey, JB, you already cooking up with these transitions. Goodness. What up, though? JB is over there cooking already, man. Woodward Sports MVP.
Got the chicken and grits.
Hey, let's rock.
Bullshit was with our.
Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this show. Go ahead and smash that like button to support the Woo crew. And once you've done that, encourage somebody else to do the same.
Is this some new music I hear?
Yeah.
What am I listening to?
This is a record by Choff. So shout out to Choff.
Hey, shout out DJ Choff. Hey, shout out Black Hollywood.
Oh, that's
No. Do you see your faceplate?
I love it, man. I
Black
love it.
Hollywood in the building. Hey, and you know what? Real quick, shout out DJ Choff. He actually used to work here a long time ago, doing socials and stuff.
No way.
Hey, shout out.
Cool guy. You know what? If I would have known his music was already in, I would have worn my Choff security shirt. Real cool dude. Really, really good guy. Producer, DJ, all that type of stuff.
Choff, golf, all of them. I love them all. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Since you're on screen, you want to tell the people what we are talking about
I
today.
would love to. We're going to hit on the NHL NBA playoffs here in the intro. I got to share a little bit of excitement around another Michigan sports team. The Michigan baseball team had a big dub
surprise.
yesterday. We got to talk about the Tigers. AJ Hinch had some words after the game yesterday that I don't agree with. I love AJ Hinch. I don't know about these comments he made after the game. We got Doc. We have John Maakaron coming out at 8:30. We're going to be talking probably a little bit of every sport, but maybe honing in on what to expect day 3 of OTAs down in Allen Park for our Detroit Lions. And then, you know what? Kool-Aid was teasing it a little bit. We're going to have a quick little top 3 list, our bronze, silver, and gold top 3 heartbreak moments as a Detroit sports fan. And what we were talking about in the chat, like, it got me in my feels, and that's why I know these guys have some good lists. Because when these moments make you feel like the way they did when I saw some of them,
Talk about it.
they must be good lists. And then guess what? We're debuting a new segment with our boy Justin.
Hey.
He's gonna be breaking down the Red Wings, the Grand Rapids Griffins. We're gonna try to infuse a little bit more hockey into this show, and Justin's gonna be here with Flannel helping us. Actually, I'll speak for myself, helping me learn a little bit more about this Red Wings team in the offseason and what's coming up. That's what we got going on today.
Looking forward to it. You ready for that, Justin? Yeah. Let's ride. Let's ride. Hey, you know what? This around the city, it got a little bit of playoff flavor to it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, none of our teams are involved,
No.
but you know what? There's still
sports.
been some pretty good games, man. Yeah, Flannel. Panthers beat Rangers in NHL playoffs 3-0 in game 1 of the conference finals, man.
Man, it's not looking good for the New York Rangers. And shout out to, and for the record, I'm rooting for the Rangers. I don't want a team that's based in Miami, Florida to have any Stanley Cup success because they don't have real fans. But however, you got to respect it. Bobrovsky shut out the Rangers. He had a hell of a game. Defensively, they were great. Kachuk had a goal, and they're looking like they're going to be holding the Stanley Cup at the end of the year. I know it's just game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, but when you go into New York and you shut out that offense, man, it's pretty demoralizing. I'll just say that.
And just moving on to the NBA playoffs, the Mavs came back to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves
Hell of a game.
108 to 105. And I know Flannel and Brother, you guys were talking about this before we went on air too.
Yeah, I love this matchup. Like I wasn't watching the first couple rounds that closely, but seeing these two teams, and Dallas isn't the most amazing defensive team, but they're both playing hard. Both these teams on defense. I love seeing that in the game last night. But it came down to the wire. What'd they win? 108 to 105.
Yeah.
It was back and forth all day. I love seeing Luka and Kyrie play together. The speed at which they both play, it's so unique to me in the NBA these days. Like Luka, he uses his size and his strength and his basketball IQ and passing ability to just slow the entire game down to the tempo he wants. But what's unique is that Kyrie can do the same thing, but in a quick way. Like he can slow the game down because his handles are so good, because he's one of the best ball handlers in history. He can do whatever he wants in the smallest little box. So when the game is so slow, but you have someone so electric with the ball in his hands, it's hard to see how defenses can game plan for the tempo, the speed of this Mavericks team. And when Luka's making threes, when he's getting hot in the fourth, it's a hard offense to stop. And regardless if you have the best defensive team in the NBA. The Timberwolves are playing really well on defense.
Yep. And you know what? Kind of looking at that backcourt there with the Dallas Mavericks, obviously the Pistons do not compare, but it's like you want to get a player with that type of dynamic next to Cade Cunningham too, who kind of plays with that Luka pace, as some people will call it. You got to get somebody in there that can kind of complement him in those ways. Take a lot of the ball handling, distributing, playmaking, and scoring off of him, because that Cade is getting doubled and triple teamed on almost every single play, especially on this current Pistons roster. But how have the playoffs been for you, man?
You know, I think Luka Doncic is kind of looking at the situation and assessing and realize I can really get my first title. The reality is that Luka as an individual, I know he's kind of playing hurt, has not had a great playoff run. His numbers, his efficiency is way down from his regular season and way down from his typical playoff averages, but this is the first year. I know Brunson was on the team and I know Kyrie was on the team last year. This is the first time where he's really had a second star who's playing like a second star, who's complimenting him well. Yeah. Let's just face it. When you're Luka Doncic and you're Kyrie Irving playing together on the same team, it's going to be a lot of your turn, my turn. However, it was kind of like that with the 2016 Cavs, and how did that work out? And Luka Doncic, he was special last night. He had 15 fourth-quarter points, really clamped down defensively, hit a ton of huge shots down the stretch when the game was obviously close, which it was throughout the entire fourth quarter. And Kyrie gave you 30. So when those two are playing as well as they did, the Mavericks are very, very hard to beat. And oh, by the way, on the other end, when you combine Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, they combine to shoot 33% from the floor and 33% from three. Especially Karl Anthony Towns, 6 of 20 when you're 7 feet. That can't happen. Yeah, that certainly can't happen. So and that's the recipe for the Timberwolves to drop game one. But I was very impressed by what I saw out of Dallas.
And Karl Anthony Towns, he had some dominant plays down in the post, stretch, or rebounds, offensive rebound, putback dunks. Like, man, there were some electric plays, but you see him just kind of floating around the three-point line. And I love Mike Conley, and he's such an important piece to this team. There was a play at the end of that game. I forget who inbounded it, but it was with like 10 seconds to go. Yeah. They threw it just past half court to Derrick Jones Jr., and Mike Conley was like a split second behind, picking off the pass. When Jones caught the ball, Mike Conley went for the steal. He went for like a quick little jab to try to steal it from Derrick Jones. By doing that and not fouling him, Jones was able to dish it to Kyrie Irving, who's one of the best free throw shooters in NBA history. Conley, you got to foul Jones Jr., a 70% shooter in that position. Like, man, the little things like that are what lead to an NBA championship. Mike Conley's got to make a better play there.
Trash-ass Michael Conley.
Whoa. We not going to do that, JB.
Honestly,
I'm just upset right now, all right? Because he made me lose my bet last night. All I needed was 10 points out of this man, and you got 6. Unbelievable.
He's not the scorer he once was.
He's the weak. He's the weak point of their starting lineup right now. He made some big plays. I'll go back to Game 7. He made some bigger plays down the stretch, but there was one stretch during the game where I texted a group chat that I'm a part of, and I'm just like, get Mike Conley off the floor. He's just not who he once was. But But, they won Game 7, but the Timberwolves dropped Game 1. And like I said before, if you're Luka Doncic, you're probably thinking, I haven't played that great, but I have some real help. And now he's got the opportunity to have a great conference finals, to potentially have a great finals, and really cement his legacy. Like I said, with the championship, his legacy could get the Giannis and Jokic bump. As this guy's maybe top 25 already. This guy's got a pathway to the top 10. And right now, I don't see why the Mavericks can't win it.
Hey, Anthony Edwards, he's getting a first-class ticket in playing in deep in the playoffs because he was absolutely gassed toward the end of that game. Having to chase Kyrie up and down the floor that whole game after he kind of pseudo-called him out in that post-game interview, man. It was fun to see. I hope he can rebound, man, but great series overall. I do have Dallas taking this series, but, man, it was an absolutely great game last night.
Yeah, something tells me that he's definitely going to rebound. The type of player he's been all season has shown that. But you're right, man. Kind of these deep playoff runs, we've heard great players talk about how that'll take your legs from you, definitely. And with the type of player that Anthony Edwards is, it's going to affect his entire game because he bases everything off of speed, athleticism, and being able to beat other people to the spots on the floors he wants to get to. And with, I know that, obviously the Mavs take the game, but the Timberwolves, there was something that you said earlier about Karl Anthony Towns, and it's something I've been talking about with their team for years. You're not going to necessarily have the type of success you're seeing right now if Cat is your number one.
Sure.
To be able to see how he and Anthony Edwards work together, though, it's been awesome. It's been really awesome to see that transformation of their team. Obviously, Gobert adds a lot to the defensive side, but yeah.
Hey, I've been a Towns defender for a long time when people try to say that he's trash or soft or anything like that. And he wasn't good. He
started off his career 0 for 8 against Andre Drummond.
He was a but anywho, I think he sort of had a bit of a Karl Anthony Towns legacy game. In Game 7, he was very good. He had some opportunities where he was matched up against smaller guys and actually took advantage. Did he play well last night? Absolutely not. But Karl Anthony Towns, he showed me a lot in that Nuggets series, and maybe he's changing some perceptions, especially if the Timberwolves can win this series and he plays a big role. I think he's already changed a few people's perceptions. Hell, and he guarded Jokic a lot of the time. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, I think it really is just a lesson in how much responsibility they are giving you. Like when we saw Drummond paid to be the number one, it was like, he's never going to reach that. Right now that Cat has guys on his team that can help. Before, people wanted him to be Rudy Gobert on defense. Well, now you got a Rudy Gobert that helps him out a ton on that side of the floor. Before, people wanted him to be the type of impact Anthony Edwards has on that Timberwolves offense. They wanted Cat to have that. Now you got an Anthony Edwards. It allows Cat really to just play to the best of his abilities and strengths, which really help to complement those other guys on the floor. I feel like his help side defense and his man-to-man defense has gotten better having Rudy Gobert also in the paint with him.
Yeah, and Big Cat struggled in that game, but towards the end, he played better. But what did y'all think about that basket interference call? I actually thought that was a good basket. What did y'all think about that?
Yeah, it looked like it was good. It looked like it was just outside the cylinder. And in real time, I'm like, oh yeah, that's just a putback dunk. And like, oh shit, they're waving it off. And it looked like if they would have called it a good basket, I don't think they would have been able to overturn it. So it was just, if you're the Timberwolves, you probably feel like you got jobbed a little bit, but they didn't play well enough to win.
Vincent E said Luka and Kyrie need that ring, and the more and more we continue to get deeper into this playoffs, think about what this all means for everybody. They might be the players in all of these playoffs that need that ring the most. Like, do I believe Jason Tatum getting that ring will help his legacy at this point? Yeah. But in terms of the ones that need that ring, I do. That's a really good point.
Luka's got all-time great potential. I don't believe Jason Tatum does. And I think that's the biggest difference.
Damn.
Is that Luka Doncic could legitimately be a top 10 player if he gets a finals MVP or two. Probably, actually two. I think in order to enter the top 10, you have to have a couple of finals MVPs. But if he gets one, how differently do we think of Giannis and Jokic now that they got one?
It's true.
That's what's going to happen to Luka if the Dallas Mavericks can win the championship, and of course if Luka Doncic plays well, which in order for them to win, he's going to have to.
That's true. Bro, do you want to tell us about Michigan baseball before we get into the next
we'll
segment?
hustle through it real quick. We're right up on break. By the way, shout out Ed O'Neill. It says, thank you, Sam, for determining I'm no real fan because I live in Miami. Appreciate it so much.
I want to see New York, an original six versus a Canada team. I don't want to see a team from Texas versus a team from Florida in a hockey Stanley Cup Finals. Sue me. I'm not hockey elite like Justin. So I can kind of root for those things and get away with it. But go ahead.
Zing. Well, JB, we're just going to play the second video whenever you have it ready. Just put it up next to me. But Michigan Wolverines baseball team, the number 4 seed in the Big Ten tournament yesterday, won their first game on a walk-off walk in the 10th inning. They won 3-2 against Iowa. This is a highlight of the final kind of 30 seconds of this game. I wanted to point this out because Michigan baseball, that's my team. Also, you win the first game of the Big Ten tournament, it helps your chances of winning the entire thing that much more. In the Big Ten this year, you need to win this tournament to get an automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. And if you lose in the period of about 4 days, you have to win 6 or 7 games to actually win the tournament. So winning this first game was absolutely necessary. They go and they play Penn State, I believe it's tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Penn State, the number 8 seed in the tournament, knocked off the number 1 seed Illinois team yesterday. So Illinois got that run where they got to win 6 in a row in this double elimination tournament to win it. Michigan, their path just got a little bit easier. So they win 2 more games. They're in the championship. Had to shout out my Michigan Wolverines. There we go. Go blue. Shout out to you, Mike G.
And can I say, those jerseys are clean.
They finally went back to Nike.
Goodness.
When I played there, it was the first year they switched from Nike to Adidas. The year after I left, they cut their contract short with Adidas and went back to Nike and Jordan brand.
Damn.
Those are
you missed some good years.
Jeez. Well, you know what? We got to talk about another baseball team here in the state, the Detroit Tigers. I know we're going to get there in the next segment. We got AJ Hinch up on the big wall too, Broder. I know Spicy Broder this morning, man. We was somebody AJ Hinch. I don't think that you like what he's saying, but we're going to get into it. You put it up a little early.
Oh, yeah. Had to.
You got to work it out, AJ. You got to work it out.
Absolutely. And if you want to work out, go to Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for only $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month. Or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Glorious.
The new Glorious Ice Water Bubble Hash Pre-Roll now has diamonds in it, everybody. They are constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience just for you. The perfect boost comes from the added touch of pure THC diamond dust,
Say what?
allowing flowers with only the highest terps, making the best even better. Glorious Cannabis, check them out at your local retailer, or you can always check them out online at gloriouscanna.com.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the Woo crew. We got the entire starting five plus the 6 man in the building. Hey, shout out, man. Hey, I like the new music, man. This is pretty dope. I like it a lot. But we gotta talk about these Detroit Tigers. They lose 8-3. They fall 3 games under 500. It feels like it wasn't that long ago we were sitting here talking about how beneficial the 6 to 7 games over 500 they were early in the season, how this cushion would be something that they could use to kind of weather some of the ups and downs. And now it just seems like the wheels have completely fallen off the Detroit Tigers.
They most certainly have, but AJ Hinch doesn't seem to think the wheels have completely fallen off. Broder, what did AJ Hinch have to say after yesterday's game?
I'll let him tell you, because we pulled this clip. This is from Bally Sports Detroit, their Twitter. I believe it was Chris McCoskey, one of the longtime beat writers for the Tigers, asked him about the game and the series in general. Asked him, it didn't feel like the team was competitive out here. And this is what AJ Hinch had to say.
This is the first time all year you've been 3 games under 500. This was a rough series where, wasn't competitive like you normally are. What point are we at here in terms of just get out to the next one, or is this a stop and take a little moment?
Well, I take exception to the competitive part. We're pretty competitive. Obviously, they did a tremendous job offensively of scoring a lot of runs, but we fought each game and stayed competitive. I think no matter what your record is, you got to review kind of what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. Our pitchers are going through it a little bit. And offensively, we haven't gotten into the game at least these 3 series. Now, depending on how far you want to look back, we felt pretty good coming out of Arizona. So we'll get back home. We'll go play Toronto and get to a new series and play all the games like I always say.
Oh, well, I
was waiting for one of these, man. I was waiting for
right.
I don't know if I'm going to quite go there, but that's not the message that I want to hear after this series, because the reality is the Tigers were not competitive. They got punked. They got bitched. They got punked and they got bitched by a team in the division that is actually good, where the Tigers are not good. None of those games were even close. They were over by, whether it was the 3rd inning, the 6th inning, no matter what, they were over. The Royals didn't even need to use a closer. You saw Bobby Witt just have a dominating series. You saw the Tigers get shut down by the Kansas City Royals pitching staff, which, to the shock of a lot of people, is actually good. You got punked, you got bitched by a team that had 56 wins last year, that has been able to turn it around to where they are having their best statistical start in franchise history. And oh, by the way, not only that, if you want to just drag the knife in even more, Reese Olson, game 1, gets hit by a line drive, is out of the game, and then Joey Wentz comes in and gives up 5 earned runs without even recording an out. In the second game of the series, Casey Mize has his worst start of the season, which actually pushes his season ERA to 4.57, which is not good enough. And that start obviously was his worst of the year. And not only that, in game 3, Tarek Skubal gave you his worst start of the season. And then Alex Lang gave up 4 earned runs in his outing. So, yeah, not only was it just a complete and utter punking and a bitching by your divisional opponent, a lot of what you've counted on throughout the season didn't show up in this series. And this was a potentially season-flipping kind of series. And now, believe it or not, because I know we're not really allowed to criticize this position group, their bullpen is now only 6th in the American League in bullpen ERA. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's the problem, but we all knew in order for this team to win, they needed to have one of the best bullpens in the American League, certainly. And now what they have is just a pretty good bullpen. So nothing really went right in this series. And
when you're not getting those epic performances out of your starters and your bullpen, or either or, it's hard for a team like this to stay in it.
Yeah.
It's an offense. They don't play the long ball. They're 29th in the league in home runs. They don't play small ball. They only have 27 stolen bases, I think, and probably 0 bunts. We all know how I feel about bunts. What?
I said, what do they do?
Look at Broder's face.
I don't know. They're supposed to pitch, and their pitching has been so good. It's what's kept them in the game. And I know I think his response, it's a little bit semantics, but to say that you're happy with the competitiveness, I disagree with that. And AJ Hinch, I think, is actually the perfect manager for this team. I'm not worried about him at all. But to say the competitiveness level, like you're okay with that, they might have competed, but this series wasn't competitive at all. Like, it was just from start to finish, you're battling back 4-0, 5-0, 8-0 leads by the Royals. I get, as a manager, your team has to compete. Like, they never gave up. You know, they put a couple runs on the board each game, but that doesn't make the game competitive. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Now, I'm glad you called out that distinction. It's a difference between not giving up and actually going out there and competing to the level of your competitor on the field. We just saw them about 2 weeks ago play the same Royals team and win the series, and they just look like a completely different team. Now you're playing the Royals, and you got outclassed. Yeah. When you get outclassed in the series, you can't have your manager stepping up to the plate saying, you know what, we competed. That feels like hey, here's your participation ribbon with a team that realistically, did we all believe, like, okay, you know what, the Guardians just seem to, they're probably going to be the class of the Central. But I didn't believe that the Royals would look that much better than the Tigers at all.
Yeah. Like, the Royals got to be the class now. Like, if they play like they did against the Tigers, it's an impressive team. And the lineup, they should not be that good. This lineup isn't like all that much better than the Tigers, but the way they play together, the way they manufacture runs, the way some of them can hit the long ball. We talked about Salvador Perez yesterday. I think he's leading the majors in RBIs or hits with runners in scoring position. Like, they're doing it when they need to the most. And the one thing that makes me worried about, I'm not going to go this far yet, but when you hear comments like that, I wonder about the mental makeup in that locker room. Like, how fragile are they right now? I don't think they're a fragile group of guys, but you channel the Jim Leland era. After the game, after a series like this, you know he's going to that mic, he's saying, we just got our ass kicked. Like, they handed it to us, we wore this one, we just got to figure it out, how to get back on the winning ways. Not, we're competitive. Saw a lot of good things, which there were some good things, but this series was a mess from the start. Like, it's to the point, and it's too early where I shouldn't be doing this, but I got to promote a pitcher coming to Comerica in a couple days. Paul Skeens is coming to Comerica Park, likely to pitch next Wednesday, a rookie for the Pirates. He's must-watch baseball. So go out to the ballpark to support him. Not support him.
Damn. Go out to the ballpark. That's completely off the bandwagon.
To see him pitch, not support him. That I gotta be very clear. That was a mistake.
Broder.
Chill. That was a mistake.
The Tigers doing Broder dirty, man. Oh my god.
I did not mean support. That came out wrong.
Broder, do you need a hug?
He might.
No. But he's electric, man. He's a rookie. Throws like 103.
Yeah.
He's special.
He's fanned a lot of batters so far.
Yes.
But, yeah, man, and I got to just keep speaking to the division. But before I do that, I do think that the pitching is starting to affect the offense from the standpoint of pitchers. They got to feel like they got to go out there and pitch perfect every single game in order to maybe get a win. And then the offense not coming through for them, man, it's just really bad. But the division, man, they lost a lot of ground, man. And you look there, are they 10 games back or 9?
9.5.
9.5 games back, might as well be 10. And for a team that's, at 500 and you're already 10 games back, you can't afford to have series like this, man. Like, this is bad. They need to fix this quickly. Yes, they are still technically competitive, but what we've seen over these past couple weeks have not been good, man. Have not.
You're exactly right. I was going to mention that as well. Broder brought it up when we questioned you as a pitcher. The stress of having to go out there and know I have to be perfect. Does that start to break down a pitcher? And we all know, any of us who play sports on any level, you can go to Dave and Buster's. It's half mental. It's half mental.
It's true.
What's going on up top, it affects what's going on in the real world. And Tarek Skubal knows, I have to step out on this mound. And yeah, he's gotten some run support, but where these bats in his team is trended, he knows, I got to be dang near perfect.
Yeah, and I think what's been really rough too is that in the month of May, and I don't mean to single these guys out because they're the least of the Tigers' problems, even Riley Green and Mark Canha aren't playing well. They both have on-base percentages of under 300 during the month of May, and those were the guys you really counted on, and still over the totality of the season have been some of your best players. But with all of that taken into consideration, after watching them on this stretch of 18 games start off 4-8, I have to make one declaration right now, and a lot of you aren't going to like that, and I'm going to get a lot of hate, and I don't care.
Let it ring. Let it ring.
Rest in peace to the Detroit Tigers 2024 season. Damn. Rest in peace.
Damn.
They're done. They're not going anywhere. And I know they're still in the wild card race, but here's what happened, and this is what's driven me absolutely crazy. And I believe rightfully so at the time. We were all just like, oh my God, they had a winning record in the month of April. Oh my God. And you know what? I was too. I'm not picking on you. I'm picking on myself as well.
You can pick on me, bro.
But you know what they did? They've undid that with the 6-13 May. And now they have lost it before it even started again. Rest in peace to the Detroit Tigers making the playoffs in 2024. Damn. They are done. Stick a fork in them. I've got an idea of how they could fix the team, but I'll give that to you at another time because we got to get to Doc. But they would have to make some drastic changes. But as currently constructed, this team is winning low 70s.
You know what? Sam doing this up against a break.
Yeah.
It's simply the best.
Right. We don't get to respond until Tuesday? We don't get to respond
Hey,
to
I mean, after
like
Doc, if we want to pivot and revisit it, I'm totally down.
That's what I'm saying. Look, bro, simply,
we might have to.
Let's get to Doc.
We might have to.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great savvy media guy. This is our vet right here, man. Simply the best. And you know what? You want to give your pet the best? You take them to Premier Pet Supply. We're going to have to give our Tigers something really good. Get some pep in their step. But Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. They have the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers with one major difference, though. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. They carry 60 brands of food, and they have nutrition experts to help you. They offer same-day local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It's 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed because it is technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people have been proven to care. All you got to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number is 1-800-STAY-OUT. What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Flannel just straight up dropped the crazy tease and then moved on.
Yep.
Goodness. And now we got the Doc. John Maakaron, publisher of all lines of the Sports Illustrated platform and host of the Detroit Sports Podcast. And overall, just a great person. What up, though, Doc?
Good morning, everybody. Bright, sunny day. I know the Tigers, the clouds are gloomy over them. But real fast, Flannel, look, I don't know why everybody's so disappointed. Once the roster was put out and they didn't spend, it was clear this was a youth movement. They told you, lower your expectations. That's what should be disappointing, is that we just got a chance to watch a series where a baseball team spent money, brought in free agents, has developed young talent. Now they're 13, 14 games above 500. Just look to the one team that just whooped your ass in the Royals. That's a model that can show you, hey, you can kind of improve your baseball team in a couple years. But the Tigers, they're going with a youth movement, but the concern should be, are the young bats that they're relying on, are they consistent? Because right now Spencer Torkelson is trending toward being a bust, and that's not a good sign. And you're looking at Colt Keith, and he's still developing on a slower pace. But yeah, absolutely. This was an average baseball team going into it with a reliance on youth movement. So going into the season, it was a lost cause. It's just disappointing in that the one thing that is disappointing to me, and maybe AJ Hinch needs to visit a veterinarian because he's been neutered by the organization.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Damn.
Hey, that baseball mind knows that Javier Baez should have no business seeing the baseball diamond.
Thank you.
Somebody's telling him not to take him out of the lineup. There is
I've
no
been saying
way
that.
that guy with a negative WAR, with his being one of the worst statistical baseball players out there, when you put him out there based on the analytics that you say that you're using, you go out there with a losing proposition. So Javier Baez, you need to send the message, bench his ass, and put a player that can hit the baseball and help your baseball team win. So for AJ Hinch, he's lost a lot of credibility when you go out there and you say that, hey, you're trying to put the best baseball team out there, and you got Javier Baez in the lineup. Every single time that Javier Baez is in the lineup, AJ Hinch should be embarrassed.
Well, and I've said this before. This is not a real organization. If that's the case, this is a clown organization. And if you're just looking at, I know this wouldn't have made a difference yesterday because they got punked and they got bitched, as I already said. But Wimseel Perez was not in the starting lineup. Kerry Carpenter was not in the starting lineup. He pinch hit. Javier Baez, there he was again, getting his 4 at-bats. He now has the 4th most on the team. And that, to me, is just... it's completely unacceptable. I do think there are ways where they could shuffle some players, maybe bring some players up to where it could look a little bit better, but Javier Baez is out there every single day, going 0 for 4 every single day. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, no doubt. And here's the beauty of the English language. A great reporter, Chris McCoskey, out there every single day. He asks and puts point blank to AJ Hinch, hey, this series wasn't competitive, and what's going on? And AJ Hinch says, what are you talking about? We were competitive. And AJ Hinch took it as, hey, your team is not fighting hard. Look, the team fights hard. They compete. What McCoskey was saying is, hey, on the scoreboard, you're getting your ass beat. What's going on? And so AJ Hinch needs to stop with the PR game and start letting everybody know, hey, this is serious, that we just can't give away series like that, especially against a division rival. You can't go out there and get swept and get dominated in that fashion. Yeah, you can lose games, but you got to play well defensively, pitch, be fundamentally sound, not have tantrums on the mound. You got to kind of get back to what you need to do. But guys, remember, it's a long season, and in the end, clearly this is a 500 baseball team. It's an 81 to 85 win team, but it's just embarrassing because we're not talking about the shit that's going on in the season. We were already told that this was going to be a young team. What's embarrassing is that Scott Harris could have invested a little bit more money and brought the payroll up a little bit just to be a little bit more competitive for the fans that support this baseball team. You've seen other teams do it, and for those that were railing against getting a guy like Chapman, JD Martinez, making some impactful move, look what you get. This is what you deserve. You want to pay your money to go down to see average baseball, that's what you get. The Tigers should have known that, hey, they could have been further along with just 1 or 2 more bats in this lineup and taking out the guy that's the biggest albatross in baseball. That's how you improve the team quickly.
Yeah, and with the Tigers, 2 things they didn't account for this season. 1 being the division being as good as it is, and 2, the regression from some of their young players. And because they've regressed so much, I feel like they're at a point now where maybe they need to consider some things. A lot of talk has been made about maybe trading Tarek Skubal. Maybe you want to avoid a Michael Fulmer type situation with the Tigers. What do you feel about the Tigers possibly trading Tarek Skubal?
Yeah, that's what I talked about on the latest Doc and Jock podcast. Comes out a little bit later after this interview. It's so tough. Listen, personally, I don't want to trade Tarek Skubal. He's an ace.
Yeah.
He's got everything that you would want in a baseball player. And it sucks because I'm torn. Unfortunately, because the front offices of the Pistons and the Tigers are such ass, we got to talk about trading Kate Cunningham and Tarek Skubal. You have to do it because your development hasn't been good enough out on the field. You have to go out there and get 2 or 3 solid bats, and that's the way you do it. And unfortunately, if you had competent front offices, you could go out and get a Colt Keith who would then come out on the field and contribute. But look, clearly based on the way these teams with their front offices are doing these slow rebuilds, the only way you get better exponentially faster is to take assets and turn them into 2 or 3 good players. And I understand the chat that get nervous and they sit back and go, why would you do that? I know why you're nervous, because we don't trust the evaluation of the GMs and the presidents in this town to make deals that are relevant. There's only one GM that we all trust. We all believe that, hey, if Tariq Skubal gets traded, that we're going to be on the worst end of the deal. But, hey, Scott Harris has got to, realize quickly that coming out and selling to this fan base, we're going to rebuild slowly, is not going to fly. We've been waiting a decade. This baseball team has the longest record of not being in the postseason. And for the fan base, it's just embarrassing. It sucks. I don't want to trade Tariq Skubal, but in order to get this baseball team faster to a spot where they can get to the playoffs, you got to make the deal. If you can find 2 to 3 solid bats that'll be around for a decade, you got to make the deal. But I think they probably won't. But a guy that could be on the block maybe is Jack Flaherty, who's shown that, hey, maybe for a playoff team could be somebody that could net a bat or two as well. It just sucks for these guys when you're a pitcher and you realize your offense isn't going to do nothing for you. It makes things exponentially tougher.
Yeah, Doc, I'm keeping an eye on these next 4 games. Mr. Bo Bichette for the Toronto Blue Jays and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. As possible trade candidates. We'll see if the Blue Jays are ready to be sellers. But with the last couple of minutes, I want to ask you, OTAs number 3. I believe you're headed down to Allen Park maybe after this interview. What are you looking to see out there on the field, seeing the rooks and the veterans together? What are you looking to expect down there?
Absolutely. First and foremost, Broder, I give you the likes of you and Chris Castellani and anybody that sits there and watches ass baseball for 162 games. I could not do it. I get out there for one game of the series, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I get my fill. I think the best thing for the Tigers is that their shit is not airing on television. Everybody can just go by and not see that shit on television and just realize, okay, we're average and they can move on. If people actually watch that shit, they'd be as pissed off as I am. But speaking of something that's a little bit more positive, yeah, the Detroit Lions, look, man, OTAs is exciting. I'm going to head out there, check out at Detroit Podcast for the videos and content that we're going to have there from OTAs. Look, most importantly, we all want to see Terry and Arnold compete against the vets. I think that cornerback 1 is going to be somebody that is going to bring the swagger and really compete at a high level. I think a lot of people are paying attention to number 9, J-Mo. Does he bring the DOC swagger to the football field this year? And I think he will. I think that that's a guy, you see him flexing in the photos, you see him. I think that this is a guy that the expectation is for him to compete, to be the number 2. Look, man, if you're a competitor, you want to go out there and take away the number 1 spot. You need to be the guy that says, give me the football. Let me take over these football games. I can't wait to see how J-Mo looks. A lot of people are paying attention to Broderick Martin and how he looks in terms of his development now. And again, the guy that, look, I'm not here as a podcaster to stir up no controversy, but I want to see how Hendon Hooker slings that football. And if he's got that rocket arm and he's starting to drop dimes to Donovan Peoples-Jones and to some of the other receivers out there, my goodness, there's going to be a comparison, maybe from me, maybe from others, regarding arm strength. I want to see, how does Hendon Hooker look after 1 year of development? Because if he shines in the preseason, I know everybody's against, oh my God, what happens if Jared Goff goes down? We have to have Hendon Hooker in there. Look, guys, if Jared Goff goes down, the expectations are going to be vastly different. And if Sudfeld's out there or Hooker, I think you're probably going to get the same result, especially at this point of Hooker's development. He's never seen the field. So if he just shines, the age-old adage is buy low, sell high, because nobody knows what Hooker can bring to the table. And if he shines in the 3 preseason games and somebody makes you an offer for a second-round pick, if a quarterback goes down with injury, hey, you potentially entertain that situation. So I'm very excited to get out there. Dan Campbell is back. The Detroit Lions just right now are the shining light of Detroit sports with all the positivity, the talent, the competition. Look, guys, in years past, when the Lions would trim down their rosters from 90 to 53 players, those 27 guys' careers were basically over. This year, the competition to trim the roster, I believe at least half of the guys that are cut are going to be picked up by other teams. That's how good this roster is that the guys that are going to be cut are going to be guys that could compete and play in the National Football League. That's how great. Look at the top 25, under 25 list. That list, when you look at it in its totality, has probably, 5 players officially, but 6 to 7 guys that are under 25 that haven't hit their prime yet. Imagine all the talent that this football team has that has yet to hit their prime. And when they do, maybe I undersold their Super Bowl window because we're so nervous about a football team that's always given us heartbreak. But if these guys continue to grow and get better and you surround them with good football players in the draft and free agency, we could be talking about a perennial playoff team that could be in multiple Super Bowls. And maybe we're underselling the expectation. Maybe 1 Super Bowl is not enough. Maybe we should expect more from this duo of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, because they're starting to show, hey, we draft and develop good players. We pay our guys. And I am thrilled to, when we're done, to get out there and to watch Detroit Lions football. Where in years past, it would be like the Pistons. You'd be like, shit, how do I get out of this?
Oh my God. I hate what other teams have done to the Doc, man. It's like, yo, I got 99 problems, but the Lions ain't one. I feel you on that one. I definitely do. Doc, as always, it's a great segment every week that we get to have you on. Publisher of All Lions on the Sports Illustrated platform and host of the Detroit Sports Podcast, John Maakaron. Thank you, brother. How you doing?
Thank you guys so much. I want you guys to recognize, look, I'm a humble guy, but thank you to all the chat members and online that have told me that when I walk in the room that I got the aura. Thank you. It means a lot to me. I bring the aura to wherever I go, and it means a lot that you guys all recognize it. Thank you so much.
Big facts.
It means a lot. Check out at Detroit Podcast. I bring the aura to Woodward Sports every Thursday morning because you guys definitely are bringing it as well. I can't wait to hear the breakdowns of what you guys think of OTAs, and I can't wait to talk to you guys next week.
Hey,
Doc.
Appreciate you, Doc.
Hey, have a good rest of your day, Doc.
Aura. Like Max Clark.
You know what? It's awesome as always. I can tell you about something else that's awesome. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. All you got to do, stop in, sit back, and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. That's Lady Jane's, and it is wicked awesome.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
Visit Dispo Dispensary today for deals too good to miss. Meet a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere and shopping experience. Try the freshest inventory for Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through our stores or order on Dispo Dash today. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for kicking off the day with the entire Woo group. We got Flannel Sam in the building, the vet of the squad. What up, though?
Hey.
Shout out.
Fun show so far.
Hey, shout out to our elite, illustrious, wonderful, stupendous booth.
All the adjectives.
All them adjectives. Yo, in the sound booth, we got Black Hollywood.
What up?
Detroit's #1 draft pick, that is KG at nobody.
Damn right.
Hey, you waking the people up?
Wake up out of your sleep. Wake up.
Let's go. And in the TD booth, we got Woodward Sports' MVP, JBSMOOOOOOV.
Jay Bizzle.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
What up, though?
Nothing much. Hey, it's a good show so far.
So far, so good. Let's rock.
Hey, y'all.
We got, hey, what up, though? Hey, y'all. We got our Lions and Tigers credential beat reporter, Matt Broder, and he's rocking out right now.
Yeah, shout out Choff.
Yeah.
Choff and Goff, baby.
Justin in the building. What up, though? It's your boy, Detroit Kool-Aid. We are about to get into some Detroit Lions talk, and I know we also have a segment following where we're going to get into some pretty sad conversation, but necessary.
And then some Red Wings to get us back excited, led by Justin, Jesus, Korean Jesus himself. But I want to ask you, this is day 3 of OTAs, number 3, so the media finally gets to go down there and see some people. So we still don't have that up close and personal look yet, but I want to ask you about some players on this roster, and maybe you can interpret this of what you want to see during camp, but I really want to get your guys' opinion on what you expect out of X player in this upcoming season.
All right.
So I'm going to start. I'll start off with a young lad that I think a lot of people want to see take another step forward. That's cornerback Stephen Gilmore. What do you expect out of Stephen Gilmore, Flannel?
0 Detroit Lions snaps.
What?
It's the truth.
If you guys hate on me for that, then you're just being pie in the sky. It's a deeper room, it's a better room, and Stephen Gilmore, he's just may not be an NFL player. He couldn't crack last year's rotation. He may have improved, but come on, it's a Stephen Gilmore. 0 Detroit Lions snaps.
It was funny too because when fans wanted the Lions to go after Stephon Gilmore, the news was that, well, if he comes here, his brother that's already on the roster is probably going to get cut or relegated to the practice squad. So you're probably a lot more right than wrong.
Anybody else have an opinion on Stephen Gilmore a little higher than that? I don't think Flannel's off. Like, if he's playing with all the cornerback investments they've made, there's something wrong.
Right,
happening.
injuries happen.
Yes.
But yeah, to me, practice squad warrior. That's all I got.
All right, how about moving on? Another, this will be a first-year Lions player. To be determined if he makes – actually, I'll let you guys answer that. What do you expect out of edge rusher Matthew Betts?
I will say mostly practice squad, gets a couple of games due to injury, gets 1 sack this year.
I'm very intrigued about Matthew Betts. I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping through camp he makes some type of impact. I know a lot of us believe that another edge would help, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
Practice squad warrior.
That's what we're saying from now on.
You agree, JB? Or you have your own opinion?
No, I definitely think I got to agree with KG. He'll be a practice squad guy, but you want to see him at least make an impact, as Kool-Aid said, during this training camp time. But, yeah, just practice squad for now.
And not just because he's a good player from the Canadian Football League, but because he was literally their historically good edge rusher.
Right.
Set the sacks record. It's like maybe there's something there. I know it's a different game, but let's see.
I expect him to make the practice squad. He needs to make the practice squad. I don't know if he will make the practice squad, but if you're going to invest in him, I know it's not a huge financial investment, but invest in him, not go after other edge rushers, whether it's in the draft or free agency, he better make the practice squad and help this team elevate. Moving on. I'll start with you, Mr. Kool-Aid, Mr. Brandon Dent. What do you expect this season out of Jack Campbell?
You know what? I was thinking about this when I saw it. I want to see Jack Campbell wrestle away the leadership from Alex Anzalone. Not that you're relegating Anzalone to being nothing, but I want to see him go out there and be as dependent on and as dependable as Dan Campbell is with Alex Anzalone. Jack Campbell, in my opinion, was drafted to be that guy. Step up, take the reins. Obviously, from a technical or skill standpoint, you want to see the speed a little bit better. You want to see him be able to kind of understand the coverages a little bit better. If there's a play action, understand to get back. But overall, it's kind of what's up here. I want to see him take the next step as it relates to being the leader of that linebacker corps.
Hey, I'll just piggyback. LB1.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There you go.
okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I will say more tackles and TFLs. We already know that he's really good in the run. Almost had 100 tackles his rookie season, and I think that will only be helped with the addition of DJ Reader. We know in coverage he's not necessarily the best. We would like to see him make improvements there. But if he can get in the backfield, get some sacks, some TFLs this year, and more tackles, I feel like that's more than enough improvement from Jack Campbell.
Yeah, I expect 120 tackles.
Fair.
He had 95 last year. I expect him to be on the field more and get more opportunities for all the reasons you guys just mentioned. Here's an interesting one I want to ask you guys. What are you expecting out of Kirby Joseph?
Ooh. Yeah, I'll go first. I think he is who he is. He's a great turnover creator, but as an overall safety, he'll give up some plays. And I think this might be the year where he proves to be more expendable than like an Iffy Melifonwu. Not hate, I agree. He'll lead the team in interceptions, but he'll also give up a lot of plays as well.
I kind of agree with Sam. Complimentary ball hawk is what I would say.
I like that.
We already know that he can play the ball very well. He can get you interceptions. I don't know if he'll be your full-time starter at safety, especially seeing Brian Branch, Iffy Melifonwu, So I look forward to him making some plays for this defense, but I don't know necessarily if he'll hold down the starting spot.
I agree with what you guys are saying, but I do expect him to still be one of those heat-seeking missiles, one of those kind of big, hit stick type players. And I expect him to get another scolding by Matthew Stafford in the first game.
Hey, week one.
That was a good hit, but you're dirty, bro. Like, what?
Make up your mind, Staff.
That was clean, but you're dirty.
Make up your mind.
But you're dirty. Craziness. All right, here, I'm going to pivot a little bit away from a player, and we'll get back to that in 1 second. But what do you expect out of third quarters?
Oh, jeez. No, here's what I expect. I expect the Detroit Lions, because I believe they have a good coaching staff, I believe that they're going to make it a point to improve their halftime adjustments. We love Dan Campbell. We love Ben Johnson. And I think we, to some extent, believe in Aaron Glenn. We've got a good coaching staff. And it was just a bit of, I don't even know if it was a blind spot. It was just something that reared its ugly head at times. And, of course, we all remember the NFC Championship game. We would like to forget. But I expect the Lions to really, really hone in on their halftime adjustments.
Yeah, I would say show no fear. I want to see in third quarters the Lions not be afraid to open it up, whether they're up or down. I just want to see them continue to be competitive, continue to push the pace, because a lot of times it just seemed like they got conservative in those third quarters last year with the play calling and things of that nature. So don't be afraid to open it up. This is a top 3 offense. There's no way that you should be starting these third quarters the way you were last year, but I do expect a lot of improvements as to what Sam said.
Yeah, definitely. I want them to have the pedal to the metal the entire time. Go out there and play like you know that you're the big dogs. And when those third quarters hit, go out there and do what's been working. I know that there are halftime adjustments that your opponent is going to make, but if you believe in your strong point, go out there and do that. You shouldn't look different to start the third quarters. And one of the things that just absolutely boggled my mind, and it was really amplified in that 49ers game, is just the defense and offense. It cannot go missing, both of them, in the same quarter, especially right after half. They got to figure that out. I do believe that they will. They have the coaching. They got the players. They'll figure it out.
Just such an odd thing to be associated with. Of all the greatness that their team had last year, like the third quarters, and it consistent. Like I don't know if it was every game, but it had to be every game of 1 or 2.
Right.
Like didn't make any sense. I do think they'll figure it out, although that's what I said all last year. So to be determined. Last one right here, and this might, I know we got 1 minute left. We may have to revisit this conversation. But what do you guys expect about David Montgomery? What do you guys expect from David Montgomery?
I'll go first. I expect a slight dip in production because I believe in Jahmyr Gibbs so much. I'm on record last year on last year's show that after that Raiders game, I think Gibbs passed Montgomery as an overall running back in this league. I think Gibbs is a guy that actually has All-Pro Offensive Player of the Year, Hall of Fame potential. And I think David Montgomery is a bit of a product of the system, but better. He's not Jamal Williams, but he's a very solid upper-level running back. But Gibbs is he's going to take the reins this year. So I expect David Montgomery to have more of like a Tyler Algier role as opposed to leading the team in rushing. Not hate. I believe in Gibbs that much.
I agree with you, too. I know we were talking about that before the show with Justin and Broder as well. But Denver Blair said another 1,000-yard season. I do believe that that's in the books for David Montgomery next year. Because I do believe that there's, with the type of player that Jahmyr Gibbs has shown himself to be able to get his yards in chunk plays, one touch could go 20 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. Right. I do believe that leaves still some more opportunity on the table for David Montgomery, and we absolutely need what he brings to the table. The kind of the electric versus the power that he brings, and Justin, you were talking about this before the show started. I think it keeps defenses off balance, and it's going to give the Lions something very, very unique.
Yeah.
I expect at least 1,000 yards out of David Montgomery.
Minton Maid said it in the chat too. Another 1,000-yard season. That's what I'm going with. It doesn't matter if he's the pseudo RB1, RB2. The way they utilize both backs, they can both get theirs. And if you look at kind of how they started to use Jahmyr Gibbs last year, they kind of started slow out the gate. Maybe if they had just, utilized him more in the beginning, then he would have cracked 1,000. But he damn near got 1,000 just being the second back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think that they'll both go for 1,000 yards this year. But yeah, David Montgomery 1,000 yards.
JB, you got an opinion on this before we move on?
A little bit. I kind of agree with Sam. I think you will see a dip in Montgomery's stats, if anything, just because you do believe in Gibbs a lot more. And if the Lions are favored and ahead in a lot of these games, yeah, you're going to let Montgomery and Gibbs kind of take that break, kind of take that time off to rest their bodies up for the next game, for the following game, because you still have quality backs as well with Craig Reynolds and Vaki. So you want to see them shine as well, too. So I think you will see a dip in Montgomery's stats.
Yeah, Corey Berry in the chat says, D-Mont, I can easily see less yards but more touchdowns. It's such an interesting conversation because we all know how talented Jahmyr Gibbs is, and his ceiling is through the roof. But that doesn't diminish how good D-Mon is, even in this system. I think this system fits him perfectly. Yeah. He fits this system perfectly. Yeah. So it's tricky. That thunder and lightning. You need the thunder to get the lightning. A lot of what David Montgomery does complements Jahmyr Gibbs. So I think Ben Johnson's going to use him on a game-to-game basis where D-Mont is better suited in certain situations. Matchup, we saw in that Green Bay game, the first Green Bay game, where he had, 32 carries or something. Yeah. There will be games where we got to ride him, and there will be games where Jahmyr Gibbs is that go-to back. But I hope we see the more targets. I don't want rushing touches to go down with Jahmyr Gibbs, but I want to see more targets in the pass game to help elevate Gibbs while still being able to use D-Mont.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you said it right. And JB was talking about all the insurance they have in that running back room as well. Hey. I can tell you can go and get some good insurance. That is Swiss Insurance. Now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not sipping in any extra fees or raising the deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or visit them online, swissins.com, and let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month. Or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Somebody say merch.
Ooh, Detroit sign
Hey, let me
shirt.
tell you right now, I hope you're tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch because it is a new era in sports wearables with new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Do yourself a favor, go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week, but I gotta tell you about the ones up on screen right now. We got the Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes election t-shirts, hoodies. They're even on hats as well too. The Tigers, even though they're disappointing us right now and Sam thinks the season is done,
it is.
You can still support them and wear some of them Tigers merch from Woodward Sports. And you know Kool-Aid has a couple of these in his closet.
Let's
The Welcome
go.
to Detroit signed t-shirts. So do yourself a favor. Go to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. Get swagged out.
Get swagged out. What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you all for kicking off the morning with the crew, man. The sun is shining. Not so much over Comerica Park, but at least it is over our studio, and it's because of you, chat family. Please go ahead and smash that like button to support the Woo crew. We got the whole squad in the building. Once you have encouraged somebody else to do the same. Oh, man. You know what? Appropriate music. Be a little bit more excited because what we're about to talk about is heartbreaking. Yeah. Broder gave us an assignment to come up with our top 3 heartbreaking moments as a sports fan.
Damn.
Just a moment of silence beforehand. Oh, Broder, what would possess you to come up with this? And you see the back wall here too.
Oh,
that one still
This
hurt.
could have easily been
That one still hurts. When I saw some of the lists, I was like, okay. I didn't want to have one of the back walls that gave away one on our list.
Yeah.
But this is one, man.
Arguably
Galaraga's
could have been in
perfect game. It was right there.
Screw you, Jim Joyce.
All right, brother. Who we start with first, man?
Let's start with Flannel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to separate Flannel and me because we have a big similarity, which you guys will all understand. But Flannel, let's start with you.
Yes, mine is very Michigan football specific because that is the team that I have the most passion in. So without further ado, throw it on up there so we can all get depressed together as Michigan fans. Although there's going to be some who probably will like to relish in my pain.
I know I do it.
At number 3.
Hey, so you in Michigan flavor. I
Michigan, TCU, and the Fiesta Bowl. And that is intern Justin Korean Jesus is number 1 because he was there. I honestly thought that Michigan was going to beat TCU. I think we all did. And the very worst part of it was, I don't know if it was the next day, but it was the next work day. Guess who I had to see?
Ooh.
Neil Rule.
Of course you did.
And all season long, all I heard about were JJ's pick 6 and them losing to TCU. That's all I ever heard. Don't hear that anymore, but that was a year of absolute pain because of that game. At number 2, Michigan OSU 2018. This was the year where I actually thought they had the team to do it. They had that whole revenge tour led by guys like Chase Winovich and Devin Bush kind of acted a fool and beating their chest after beating a terrible Michigan State team. And then they got rolled. They gave up 62 goddamn points to Ohio State. I think Paris Campbell is still running somewhere, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And that is the game. And this is going to pain a lot of Michigan fans where I officially dislike Chase Winovich as an all-time Michigan player. You do all the woofing when you beat Michigan State, but then your defense gives up 62 to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Overrated tryhard.
Throwback.
Overrated tryhard. That's all he ever was. Number 1, trouble with the snap.
Such a beautiful moment.
That might be the
strays,
Yes.
I can't stand trouble with the snap.
That might
Beautiful
be the
moment.
worst day of my life. This was the year when Savior Harbaugh came in and they were going to beat Michigan State, a team that we used to own and then owned us, and then the worst play in the history of American team sports happened. We all know the rest. So yes, even though Michigan won the national championship this past year, bringing up these games still makes my heart ache a little bit.
Man, the worst part about trouble with the snap is just all the shit you had to eat from State fans,
Yes.
bro. It was so bad for so long, man. I was at work working around Michigan State guys. They were bothering me the whole night. I can't stand trouble with the snap.
Bro.
That's an amazing moment. I don't care what anybody says.
Why would you say that, JB? Why would you say that, huh?
That's fair.
Who would make you say something like that, JB?
That was an amazing moment because I still remember where I was at when this actually happened.
Are you some sort of Sparty or something?
Oh, of course. Come on now. That was an amazing moment. I remember this game was completely done. It was over with. I was about to pack up and leave the bar, but do you know what? This moment happened, and it is a great moment in sports history.
Look, man, I can't
No.
I can't even front, man. And my wife, she'll be able to confirm this. I made a noise that no grown man should ever make. I didn't even know I could make the noise. I'm telling you, I was sitting there like, it's finally over. I breathed. And then it happened. And I'm like, for 3 seconds, I couldn't breathe. She's looking at me. And then this noise, this inaudible, whatever, it just bellowed from me. And yeah, I'm so glad none of my friends were around to see that moment, because that would have been a talking time for a minute.
You know what? Someone else will go next, but I'll talk about that while you got Sam's list up, because that's my number one too. This is one of those moments, like, I remember exactly where I was, the feeling, the sound, the emotion, the smell. Like, I was with a bunch of dudes at my friend Chad's apartment in Ann Arbor. We weren't at the game, but we were a few blocks away from the stadium, and the deafening silence that was felt right while that happened, it was so much amazing positive energy. And as soon as that happened, the silence was so eerie. I will never forget it. And we just sat there on his floor. There were a couple guys on the couch just in complete shock, complete misery for probably 20 minutes straight. Just like, no, wait, what? No, this didn't happen. It was one of those memories. I'll never forget it in the worst way.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, I throw my list up there. Surprise, it is Detroit Pistons themed.
I ain't mad at you though, because it's on mine too.
Yeah, you know what? Let's throw the list up there, man. We got to go down memory lane. Oh goodness! All right, look, my bronze, and it's only appropriate. LeBron James, 25 straight points versus the Pistons, and the last 29 of 30 points for the Cavs. The reason why it hurt so much is because I knew it's over for this going to work Pistons team.
Yep, that was there.
And everything from that point forward, I verified that point, backed that up. That to me hurt. You guys know that my irrational hate of who I consider to be the second greatest player of all time, LeBron James, it stems solely from the stop smiling flannel.
I'm not smiling. I didn't like that moment. I just like LeBron. That moment. Oh, come on. Now you're gonna say about a Pistons fan. What you done, Kool-Aid?
And then look, my favorite player of all time. Well, probably during that era, it was Grant Hill. I had never seen a player with that type of magnitude in Detroit sports.
Yeah.
Just in my fandom at that point in time, I was young. My grandma got me the shoes, got me the jersey. It was my first NBA jersey, first NBA player's pair of shoes. I was, drinking Sprite, get me over to McDonald's. Anything that Grant Hill was involved with, I was there. Got the co-rookie of the year with Jason Kidd. Man, some of the most electric dunks. I still remember the Alonzo Mourning flipping them, dunking on them, all that type of stuff. I had never seen that personally.
Yeah.
I had heard about the Bad Boys. And I was young when they won their championship. But when he got injured, that broke my young sports fans' heart. I was done. I was like, yo, we can't have anything nice. Like, I'm running around my grandparents' like Bad Boys hats and shirts thinking, we're on our way. We got Joe Dumars and Grant Hill playing together. We got Lindsey Hunter. When he got injured, that man, I'm telling you, that was a gut punch. That was my favorite player in all of sports at that point in time, and why I wanted to play basketball. That ripped the soul out of me. And then number one, 2005 NBA Finals, and just in general. Obviously, the Robert Horry shot is a big one. Big moment that everybody remembers, Rasheed leaving them open. But
Why?
I'm telling you, 2004, I had gone to school. Pistons had just won a championship. I was talking junk to everybody. And then that series happened, and one of my friends who's from the islands that I think St. Croix or one of the islands that Tim Duncan is from. Yeah, he was like, look, he was supporting the Pistons until that series. Then all of a sudden, he was like, look, I'm sorry. He came home during that break with me. He's like, I'm for the Spurs. I was watching every away game at Shane Park, man, and when they lost, that one just hurt.
Oh,
it just hurt. When Wesleyan left them open, my heart broke. I was ready for a back-to-back championship, but that's my gold, silver, and bronze Pistons edition, man. And now I feel sad. Really
Some
sad.
bullshit.
Yeah.
It is some bullshit. I will go ahead and go next. This feels like a funeral procession almost. It's crazy, man.
This is weird.
Yeah, it's like a weird, eerie feeling in the room talking about these things. But, JB, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and throw my heartbreak up there. At number 3, the Lions versus the Cowboys, 2014 wild card playoff game. Now, we all know what the Lions did that year. Had one of the best defenses in the league. They had a great year, man. I think this was year 1 of Jim Caldwell. And they got to the playoffs, and we had to go to fucking Jerry World. And we all know what happened there. The Lions got off to a fast start, 14-0. First half, man, we're looking good, looking like we're going to get that first playoff win in so long. Then somewhere in the second half, on a third down play, you had, what's his name? Anthony Hitchens.
Yeah.
Get called for a pass interference, and then the refs picked the flag up, which at the time was unheard of. Refs were not doing that until that play happened. Now you see it more in the NFL now, but they tested this on the Lions. I'm convinced, and I don't care when anybody says momentum is a real thing in football. The Lions weren't the same after that play. Not to mention, Dez Bryant walked on the damn field without his helmet.
With his damn helmet.
Oh my God!
With his fucking helmet.
Thank you. That should have been a flag within itself.
I hate that.
I'm heated all over
Des
again.
Bryant.
Oh
Like,
my-
I hate Des Bryant.
Yeah, man.
It's just his competitive nature. That's all it was. Penalty, 15 yards.
So all of us then, we're in our respective homes like, he's on the field with his helmet off. It's a flag.
This
Like,
is-
Walked out of the field to argue.
This is horrible,
gosh,
man.
KG.
This game broke my heart, and then to
Anywho,
I didn't even know you were gonna go there too.
I done opened up a world of hurt. I done opened up a world of hurt to my people up here, man.
Oh,
But this game was horrible, man. Number 2, of course, you had it.
Beat
number 1,
Dallas, golly.
man. Don't get me started, man. That game was horrible. And then to think about the years of heartbreak afterwards, in retrospect, is horrible. But number 2 on your list, it was number 1 on yours, Kool-Aid. That 05 finals, game 5. I don't care if it was game 5. That shot changed everything. Why she? I love you to death,
cried,
man.
bro.
I love you to death. There is no logical reason why you needed to double Manu Ginobili in the corner when Tayshaun was already there. Big shot Bob came off of the inbound and hit the shot, and it was bad. And then the following year we had the LeBron follow up with the 26 straight points in the damn fourth quarter. It was never the same for the Pistons after that big shot Bob shot. And at number 1, the Giants versus the Patriots, Super Bowl 42. Now, at the time, I'm a big Tom Brady fan, and seeing that I'm a Tom Brady fan, I like the Patriots, but more importantly, I loved Randy Moss. Randy Moss is my favorite wide receiver ever. How desperately I wanted him to get a ring when he went to the Patriots. It was absolutely electric. Him and Brady lit it up. They had a perfect regular season, a perfect postseason until dumb Eli had to stick his nose in it. And the play that happened the play that happened still pisses me off to this day from a no-name David Tyree. This is nothing personal against you, but I hate you. I hate you, David Tyree. I can't stand you. The fact that Eli Manning somehow got out of 2 sacks and threw the ball up to a David Tyree who caught it off his helmet, who was out the league 2 years after that. I'm done, man. You ruined the perfect season. You ruined Randy Moss's ring. I hate you, David Tyree. I hate you, Eli Manning. I will never ever forget this day.
We gotta have a haters ball. You know what?
To play a haters ball?
We're gonna have to have a haters ball segment one day. Too.
Man.
I like that, man. And you know what? My honorable mention before we gotta get to this next segment because we got some more. But honorable mention for me, and it was kind of a 2-in-1. Allen Iverson traded for Chauncey Billups.
Ooh.
And all of us already know, like,
arthritis knees, Allen Iverson.
But because obviously we don't want to lose Big Shot. But what was the unintended victim in that too? Richard Hamilton.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the demotion, come off the bench?
Oh, yeah.
All that crap, bro. Like, dang, man, the disrespect. But, ooh, man, we got another segment of this stuff.
I'll tell you what, though. If you want to drown your sorrows in buying a car, go to Les Stanford, of course. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for only $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential. You know what else is essential? Sometimes
Oils.
revisiting old moments, man. It can propel us. It can propel us beyond. And we got some more heartbreaking moments that we have to get into. Matthew Broder, what up, though, man?
I have one that hurts, too, that you guys have already described. The number one and the number two you guys have already put up there. Trouble with the Snap was the golden moment, the golden heartbreak.
Oh, man.
The Robert Horry shot.
You're so beautiful.
And Game 5 of the NBA, or Game 5 of the 2005 NBA Finals. But this sweep, the giant sweep of the Tigers in the 2012 World Series. And there's a second part to this because I was already feeling heartbroken leading into this. Although the Tigers had just about dominated the Yankees in the series leading up to it, they have that long break and then they get swept by the Giants. It was horrible. In that Yankees game, I was invited to go to the game by one of my friends. So I was sitting in between two beautiful girls. One was a good friend of mine. Another was a good friend of hers. And there is a picture of it. A-Rod hit a foul ball.
The Broder way.
Hey, there we go. So picture this. I'm sitting next to her and one other girl, one of my friends, Alessandra, and A-Rod hits a foul ball right at me. And I drop it. I drop it.
Come on.
In front of everyone. There was a friend a couple sections down from me who saw it happen like in slow motion, and he was chirping from a couple sections away. And to defend myself slightly, it was like a line drive foul ball. If you could see, we were like right over the Tigers dugout. So it was like a one hand up, grab it, foul ball is kind of slicing. But like that, that's your moment. A foul ball comes to you. I never had that happen. I didn't have a glove or anything, but you dropped it and you're like, no, that was my chance. Like, I'm a baseball player. I'm supposed to catch this. All that stuff starts going through your head. So that added to the heartbreak of that World Series run that was cut short.
Yeah, Broder, we were at the same game. This is at the time I was a vendor at Comerica Park. I was there for the whole ALCS. So much joy and happiness on all of our faces. And then to go into the World Series and get swept. Oh, my God, by a hot San Francisco Giants team. All I remember is Angel Pagan, Pablo Sandoval. They whooped our ass, man. And it was horrible, man. But go ahead, Broder.
No, that's it. That's how I can't recover from
man,
that.
Hey, look, Broder's roster is getting crazy, man. You got Lizzie from Canton, Crystal with an X.
No, he got some pull.
Baseball girl. Let's go, Broder.
Let's go.
The man.
What are you going to do? Next up is Jay Bizzle.
Let's rock, JB.
Oh, shoot. Give me 1 second to get all this stuff going right here. I'm not going to lie. Actually, like 3 of these moments on your guys' list, I actually enjoyed. I'm sure you did.
Crazy. You crazy,
Hopefully I enjoy some of your heartbreak, too. We'll see.
I went a little bit different with my heartbreak. But
Braylon Edwards is on this list.
Yeah, Braylon is not on my list, but I went full heel on my list, basically. So, here we go.
Okay.
At the bronze position,
2011
I have
BCS.
the 2011 BCS National Championship game. That is between Oregon and Auburn. This game lives rent-free in my head for who knows how long. I just don't know why. Mainly because I feel like I was the only Oregon fan in... What are you doing, Flint?
I can't relish in your heartbreak. I was the biggest Cam Newton fan ever back then. So there, the shoes on the other foot, JB.
Yeah, damn you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like I was the only Oregon fan in Michigan cheering for this team at all. And you know what? It looked like a good game. Very low scoring, high power offense versus a very hungry, aggressive defense. And it didn't really pick up until the second half. And it came all the shit in the fourth quarter when Michael Dyer ran for a 6 to 7 yard run that we all thought was stopped. But nope. He was not down on the ground, and once he got up, he hopped up and ran to the 37-yard line, and they just basically sat on the ball for the final 2 minutes to kick the field goal to not only give Cam Newton a Heisman, but also a national championship that year. I hate Cam Newton. Fuck Cam Newton. I hate him so much. So much.
Chill out, Cam.
Unbelievable. But coming in at silver, it's the end of the streak.
Oh,
and what I
man.
mean by this is Undertaker streak.
Yes.
It ended after 21 years. WWE made the decision to make Brock Lesnar go over on the Undertaker because they saw him as a bigger star coming up. And I'm not gonna be upset about Brock. He did lead the WWE for a little while,
No,
but he
that
also
was bullshit,
left.
JB.
He
No.
also left, and I just don't think you do that to the Undertaker, especially after 21 years of WrestleMania. It's just disappointing.
And
That's
if-
somebody in the locker room that you all look up to.
And if you was gonna drop it to anybody, drop it to Shawn Michaels. Him and Shawn Michaels had 3 classics.
That's
Why
fair.
did Shawn Michaels not in the streak, man?
That
I'll
is
never
fair.
forget where I was when this happened. It's just, I remember I wasn't even paying attention to the match. Me and my nephew, we were watching it, just assuming the Undertaker was gonna come back like he always does. And then we just hear 1, 2, 3. We both look up like, what
just happened?
and my man's face, the black guy that was sitting front row, it will forever live in my head, man. Just the reaction from him, the big Google eyes. Never forget it, man.
Yep, I will never forget that either. And finally, my goal is the death of the Monday Night Wars. As a kid, it was always fun to come home, and on Monday nights, you get that first hour of Monday Night Nitro and then Monday Night Raw after that at 9 o'clock before my parents told me I had to take my ass to bed. But I love competition, especially in the wrestling world. You get people to make genius ideas. Just the simple fact that you're competing up against another company. And that's exactly what happened with WCW and WWE back then. But after a while, you know what? They went back and forth in the ratings. Soon WWE took over the Monday Night Wars. Then next you know, WCW, the ratings started to slip. Creative got out of control. Wrestlers kind of got out of control too. Vince Russo, his stupid storylines just didn't make any sense. And you know what? Soon enough, they started to lose money and it was time to shut the doors. Then next you know, WWE buys them. And even though we got some dream matchups with the invasion that happened during that year, a lot of wrestlers from WCW did not get a shot in the WWE, and it's just sad to see that they didn't get a second chance because I think they could have made some magic happen. But those are my top 3. Hopefully, besides Sam and the 2011 BCS Championship, that this wasn't heartbreaking enough.
Oh man, this is such heartbreak, and then people reveling in each other's heartbreak.
Well,
Randall's still smiling.
Well, and that's the thing. Trouble with the Snap was legitimately the worst day of my life, and JV was like, ha ha, and rightfully so, rightfully so. Like, I don't even blame you for that. But I was the biggest Cam Newton fan of all time back then, especially people clowning him, calling him Scam Newton and all of that, and we're propping up Michael James. Get out of here.
I forgot all about Michael James.
Hey, how does NFL career work out?
Right. Oh my God.
am happy that he failed in the NFL. That's how much I liked. I loved Auburn back then.
Mike Hart. The things that don't just make you happy, but just straight up lighten your day.
Mike Hart.
Hey.
Whoa, strange.
Chill out.
No, honestly, JB, we can kind of. I'm not a Mike Hart guy.
Come on.
I am not a
Sam.
Mike Hart guy.
No fun, please.
I think he ran like a 5.340 even in college.
Brother, we need that haters ball. We got to do that. And Justin, you made the graphics for our top 3 list.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to you, Justin.
Shout out.
Thank you for all that you do. And I know we got you in the next segment. You already decked out in the red and white, so you guys already know what we're going to talk about. A little bit of Detroit Red Wings. I'm looking forward to this segment. Thank you for all the work that you do. But you know what, chat family? Thank you guys for supporting Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys rocking with the starting 5 plus the 6-man, Justin. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Thank you guys. But after us, you already know, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, Darren McCarty alongside the golden voice, Still Rule with Big D Energy for 11-1. After, you know what, and shout out to Spinny and KG as well in the booth. You guys are entertainment, man.
Thank you.
After that, it is the lovable radio legend Tom Masway with University of Michigan wide receiver and former NFL wide receiver Braylon Edwards, and Detroit Media King Ryan Armani on Armani and Edwards with Maz. That's 2 to 4 every single day, Monday through Friday. And end off your Woodward Sports Day with the Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7. The big fellas are bringing you the biggest interviews, the biggest breakdowns, the biggest laughs. Shout out to Spinny, shout out to Easy, Nick in the sound booth. The tailgate always wins, and Chris and Platty in the TD booth. But most importantly, thank you, chat family, for making Woodward Sports your #1 digital sports network. We appreciate you all greatly.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday.
Let's go. What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for kicking off the day with the Woo Crew. And today we get to feature our 6-man. Hey, one of those Mr. Everything behind the scenes guys. It's the people that I absolutely love to see have success. Justin, I know you're bringing us some Red Wings breakdown, some Red Wings talk, even some Grand Rapids Griffins. I'm looking forward to this. Brother, how you doing?
I'm doing great. GM Jesus in the building, baby.
Hey, you know what? First, before you get going, y'all smash that like button for my guy, Justin, man.
Damn right.
He deserves it. Take it away.
All right. Flannel, here we go. So I mocked up some projections of the contracts for Raymond and Sider here. This is kind of like a round number. It's not going to be specific because obviously there's a lot of factors. So Raymond is going to demand around $8.125 million. It is very similar to the Nick Suzuki deal from last year, which was $7.8 million. Sider will command $8.5 million, which is kind of the market value for a top-level defenseman, as we saw with Trouba, as he got $8 million, and Sanderson got $8.1 million. So that's a combined $6.6 million. That leads us with $12.5 million, with $5.5 million in the cap raise as well, which gives us a total of $18 million. So, let me be your magician. Tell me where you would like to go, and I will give you that scenario.
Well, let's start out with a goaltender. Is there anybody that is available out there?
So, in the free agency market, it's Matt Murray, but I don't necessarily like that. But there are two names on the trade block who I am 100% interested in. One is UC Saros from Nashville. There's been lots of rumors over the past year that he is going to be on the move because they have a very good young goaltender who's coming up from their minor league system. The other one would be Linus Ullmark from the Bruins, who they're going with Swayman, and they're looking to get rid of him. So how that trade might look is we're probably going to have to dish Husso because they're all on 1-year deals. So but we're not going to re-sign Husso. Husso hasn't shown enough that we're going to keep him. In my opinion, would you agree with that?
Oh, get him out of here.
Okay. Get him out of here. All right. So we trade Husso, probably a draft pick and a prospect, to get one of those two goalies. If we trade Huso with that, it won't affect any of our cap space moving forward, which would be ideal because they're on similar contracts.
What would Linus Ullmark, like, how does that look contract-wise?
He is $5.5 million, so we'll probably have to eat a mill. But the issue with that is they both have 10-team no-trade clauses. When you can't find anywhere who those teams are. It's only between him and the organization. So I have no idea. I looked for probably an hour trying to figure it out, and I could not find it.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of rumors that Ullmark's going to go to the New Jersey. There's Avs talk as well. But I could definitely see him getting lured to Detroit with our young core.
Hey, you put him on the Red Wings last year. They're in the playoffs.
I completely agree with that. 1A goalie is so important, and if we could do that, then it improves the rest of our team. So if that doesn't happen, I'd like to move to defensemen if that's okay.
It. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So there's some free agent defensemen, and there's some defensemen that I believe we're going to get from the Griffins this year. I believe that they're going to be ready. Unfortunate 3-2 loss in overtime last night against the Admirals to go down 2-1 in the series for the Griffins. Hopefully they'll bounce back. They're at home in Game 4, so it's definitely a high possibility that they do. I do expect, though, if I can find it in my notes here, I do expect Simon Edvinsson to be a wing next year.
100%.
There should be no doubt that he is in our rotation. I'd also hopefully like to see Rafferty or Johansson as well.
Yeah.
And have two young D in this core, which that gives you a lot of flexibility with your current D core. Your current D core is a little shaky with some vets that you probably want to get rid of. Probably want to get rid of Jeff Petrie.
Yeah.
And so that moves us to Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere is a UFA this year.
I gone.
Would you like to resign Gostisbehere?
No, I would not.
Okay. Well, that gives you cap space because he's going to command about $5 million, which with that money, you're going to teams in cap hell because there's Carolina, there's Toronto, and there's Vancouver, who are all in cap hell right now due to their playoff teams. So, some options. There's Tyler Myers from Vancouver. There is Zadorov from Vancouver. Both of them will around $6 million. Same with TJ Brody from the Leafs. Ooh. And Brett Pesky from the Hurricanes.
I'm intrigued by the Vancouver guys, for sure.
The Vancouver guys will give you a lot of size.
Yes.
And that is something we desperately need. And the other two will give you very good plus-minus numbers, which is another thing that we need. Because if you look at our D-core last year, their plus-minus is dog shit.
It is. Man, I hate to be this person, but wouldn't any one of those four help? I mean, this defensive core, this defense last year was not good enough. I mean, you already know how I feel. I mean, Gostisbehere, he's a nice offensive player. He made a really big play in one of the important games. I forgot which one it was, but still, Petrie's terrible. Hull didn't play. I mean, you understand. So I think any one of those guys can help.
So if you do go after a defenseman, you're eating into the cap, $6 million or $12 million, whatever. If you decide to get one or two, probably only going to get one realistically. That's a high level, high impact guy. You might sign a veteran for the vet min maybe, but you at least have to get one of these guys. They are critical for this team's success next year. And then we're going to move to the fun one, the forwards.
Well, let me ask you one question. Do you think that in terms of Grand Rapids, because Rafferty, Johansson, those are kind of the ones that are next. Is that where you're going to find the most NHL ready guys in terms of position groups, in terms of maybe helping this team next year? Or are you thinking maybe forwards?
I think it's D. I think the only forward that's going to make the roster next year is Bergeron.
Yeah,
that
sounds about right.
I think that none of them are. I do believe that Casper has really fallen into a very nice all-around role. He's really becoming a more all-around player, which is very big for this team. An all-around center is so huge on a championship-level team. Also, Soderblom, when he moves his feet, has shown a lot of great flashes. And then Wallander has really made a lot of strides in the playoffs. So any of those three guys are guys that I am looking at. But Casper and Wallander still have a little ways to go, and then as well as Mazur as well.
Yeah.
So the issue with the forwards, because you're going to go after a D, and that D is going to take away from your high pay forwards. So you're probably going to have to choose between Kane or Perron if you want to bring in a high-level scorer. That's if you want to bring in a high-level scorer. You could re-sign him again and have the same forward core, but if you want to bring in a high-level scorer, you're going to have to sacrifice one of them.
That's what's so tough because their offense, the totality of the season was good enough, but even that, once Dylan Larkin went out, it kind of took a shit there for a while. Let's get rid of Perron.
All right. So you get rid of Perron.
For the purpose of this.
You sign Kane to between a $3 and a $5 million deal. I don't really understand the contract market for him because he didn't necessarily play the full season.
Yeah.
He got a cheap deal last year. Is he willing to take another team friendly this year, which would be huge for us because then it opens up the fun things. So we have Jake Gensel from Carolina. Over a point per game. Very gritty forward. Would bring a lot of gusto to this team, but he's going to be pricey. He's going to be $8.5 million or $9 million. That's a big chunk of your salary cap right there. And are you willing to do that? Or are you going to go with Sam Reinhart, who's also going to be a $9 million type player who can completely change series? He is a great player for this Florida team right now. Are you willing to spend that kind of dough?
For Sam Reinhart, yes, I am. Not for Gunsel, but for Sam Reinhart, yes, I am. I think he would be your 1C, day one. And Dylan Larkin, I think he's capable of being a 1C on like a playoff team. Obviously, it wasn't his fault that they missed. He was great last year. But Sam Reinhart, he's a dude. He's arguably the best offensive player on the team that's probably going to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, you could argue him or Kachuk, but Sam Reinhart is a true like 1C, and those don't grow on trees. So yes, I would, if possible, I would spend the money on Sam Reinhart over Gunsel.
And then that leaves you with a tiny bit of cap space to either bring in around a $5 million defenseman or forward to still be able to get the depth pieces you need. And at that point, I'm looking at Riley Smith, who's coming off a down year, some championship pedigree. That would be nice. Or Martin Reese, I'm going to say it wrong, Risas, I think, from Carolina.
Yeah.
Another guy who they have said they're not re-signing. Treviño from Carolina as well. I don't know. I think that they're going to try to re-sign him. It'd be very interesting if they didn't, but I could definitely see a scenario where we go after him. Or for the defenseman, you go after Little Caesar's own Jakob Churchutton from the Senators, who is 1 year left on his deal, $4.5 million. You're going to have to give up your first this year, a third maybe next year, and then a prospect to get that.
I think I might go with Chychrun. I think I'd probably go with Chychrun, even if you had to give up some guys, or even like Teravainen. Those are probably the two that I would.
And
that I would think
the good thing is they both are under 25, I believe.
Yeah.
So they fit well with the core moving forward. Because as everyone knows, the timeline isn't next year to win the cup.
Right.
It's 2 to 3 years away at the least, or hopefully not. But thank you for letting me be GM Jesus.
Hey, that's right, man.
You know, I'll tell you what. If the Red Wings make those moves, they're a playoff team next year, 100%. So
let's go.
So should we call him like a Justin Yzerman, or actually not, because they still haven't made the playoffs with him as GM? Little slight shot,
soon,
but that's
though.
okay.
Soon. It's on the way. It's on the way, Flynn.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? We got something cooking up in this next segment as well. You guys already know. But where we got to go? Dispo?
Dispo, yeah.
Dispo.
Hey.
Get your weed.
I'm sure they're cooking up something.
Hey, if Sam Reinhart, I might actually smoke some if the Red Wings get Sam Reinhart, and I don't even smoke. Anywho, visit Dispo Dispensary today for deals too good to miss. Meet a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere and shopping experience. Try the freshest inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through our stores or order on Dispo Dash today. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. They are taking over Michigan. Let me tell you, locations are popping up over all of Metro Detroit. They are doubling the number of restaurants this year alone. They are known for their quality hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, chicken sandwiches, and you can't forget about the New York-style pizza or the Nashville hot pizza. Just look at that. Come on now. Look, be sure to stop by and try one of their mega stations near you, or as always, you can order online at Sorokis.com.
Let's go. What up, though, people? Soroki's, man. It's fire, man. Throw some fire emojis in the chat for Soroki's. Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this platform. Go ahead and smash that like button once you have encouraged someone else to do the same. Once again, shout out to Justin on that segment. Great job, man. Yeah, like you said, man, he goes in depth.
Yeah, and speaking of that segment, I realized calling those defensemen from Vancouver the Vancouver guys was a little unprofessional on my part. I remember after I said it, I'm like, ooh, that sounds cringe. People are gonna talk about me as like a hockey casual, but damn it, those are the ones that I would want if the Red Wings were to go after defensemen.
Hey, let's go. You know what? And you guys get your mailbag questions in as well. That will be the next segment after what's cooking up right now. JB, you want to tell the people what's cooking?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Bizzle.
Let's rock.
Hey, fellas. Man, oh, man, have I got something for you guys. Now, look, we all enjoy our mascots, right? You know,
we do.
Hooper, you know, Rory downtown.
Damn right.
But
it's not Hooper's fault that the Pistons are losing.
It's not Hooper's fault that the Pistons are losing.
Pray for pause.
I know. Pray for pause as well too. And shout out to ESPNW for this one. But who is in this costume for the New York Liberty?
What?
Oh.
Who is in this costume? I just have to ask.
Somebody with some loose legs. I know that.
This is that one game, and then this. Like, whoever is in this costume has some swag. I don't know who it is exactly, but this is probably the best performance I've seen someone as a mascot.
Yeah, this is pretty good. This is like one of my dream jobs, man. I always wanted to just hop in a mascot suit for a day and just do whatever the hell I want. Because that's what mascots literally just do whatever the hell they want. You can slap somebody and they'll be, oh, it's a mascot. It's cute. Like, I always wanted that job, man. I know the suit get a little hot, but I do it for a day, absolutely.
Really? I wasn't expecting that one. Anybody else wanted to be a mascot?
No.
Not really.
Respectfully, no.
I do it for a day. Why not?
Shout out to our hardworking mascots out there, but that's just not my destiny. I don't think.
I saw the one with the kids that was upset. They thought they were getting like Bluey, like the actual like mascot Bluey. And it was a black dude with a scruffy beard and like the one-piece pajama. the kids are so upset.
Bad as hell.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, that's terrible. But this next video, Broder, I gotta ask you. I'm putting you on the spot here.
What's new?
Is he safe or is he out?
Okay, here we go.
All right. Broder ball. Don't Tim Joyce this.
Oh,
it bounces.
Oh,
damn.
God.
That's close.
Tiger.
Oh my word.
As close as it can get.
I'm going safe. That is about as close as it could ever get. Because, like, you think right here his toe's about to touch, but then maybe it gets this.
He's safe. He's safe. The ball's still moving when his foot hits the bag.
But did the ball hit the glove? I'm with you.
It wasn't secured in the glove. It wasn't secured.
Yeah.
Right
it's fantastic.
Right there. Ball still isn't fully in the glove.
It's safe.
He's safe.
I'll say safe.
He's safe.
Yeah, I'm going safe.
He's safe.
Great form, great stretch from the first baseman.
That's a bang.
Also, the runner hitting the front of the base, not allowing his strides to get to the end of the base or the middle. They both did it perfectly. That's safe.
Well done.
Safe?
Safe.
Yep.
Safe.
Good baseball.
Bang, bang, play.
Well, surprisingly enough, my man was safe.
Hey, so they got it right. Let's go.
We got it right on that one. But, Broder, did they get it right on this one? Scissor.
Oh.
No.
Wait, look at the caption.
Jesus Christ.
KG's like, this is not what I paid $24.99 for.
Yeah, man.
This is the wrong subscription.
Broder, I gotta ask, how does this happen? Like, I don't know.
So,
Broder's face.
this is the part of the game where you should probably call off the other outfielder and tell him I got it. Like,
Yeah, and you
Nuts
know
to
it's in
nuts.
Tampa, so there are no fans in the stands. You can hear the other players.
that was a shot.
Zing!
Well, no, that's true. Well,
It's true.
Well, Broder, I know you're a pitcher, so it probably didn't apply to you much, but no man's land is a bitch. Like, that happens in baseball where there's just like a ball hit between two players and
somebody got to get it.
like they don't. It doesn't occur to one of them to call the other one off, or there's not even really time. You just react, and that's the type of stuff that happens. It looks like they hung onto the ball though. As long as you hang on to the ball.
It's the worst
part.
part.
They did. They definitely certainly did.
But at what cost?
At what cost?
Well, I'd probably rather just let the ball fall in and not be in that compromising situation. But hey, it might cost the team a win.
I feel like we can see another 1,000 pop-ups like that, and we still won't see the defenders scissor each other.
Yeah, that's wild.
Probably not.
Yeah,
That's
probably not
so
on that
crazy.
one.
Les Brew.
Probably not on that one. But shout out to the House of Highlights and Declaration of Memes for those two videos. And finally, I gotta play this one because it just reminds you of your old childhood days when you just could dunk on your best friend. I believe I can fly.
Oh! Why you do that to his little brother, man?
A nuts edition of what's trending today.
It really is. But, I mean, you guys
can
remember
tell
these days when you could just shit on your best friend like this?
No, you can tell he just the older brother that do whatever to his little brother. Like, hey, go stand here so I can do this wild ass
Don't it
shit.
look like he was like in the middle of that? Like, I could clear him, but I'm not.
I got it. Never mind.
Oh my god.
Any of you guys ever do this? No?
Huh?
Any of you guys ever do this to your best friend? No?
Nah.
Be careful how you answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, yeah. Definitely be careful how you answer that one.
Honestly, how fun were those times though when you're kids and you have a friend who has one of the hoops that you can lower to 7 feet or something, so you can all dunk.
The damn Fisher Price rims.
Yeah.
You know what? Kool-Aid and I, we got some epic battles right now.
Hey.
Epic battles in the house, playing on a little tight rim. It's awesome.
The little tights.
It's awesome. Awesome.
It's awesome. And you know
he
what?
gets dunked on too, but
Of course. How you gonna do that?
Hey, you know what? He has not beaten me till he's 18. I don't carry the rim, bro. You can bring in one of those little tiny ones that you hang on the door. I am winning every time. He's gonna learn how to hoop. You don't go easy on your kid.
Yep. Kool-Aid's got dad strength. Dad strength is a thing.
It is.
100% is a thing.
That's fair. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's get into some mailbag.
Hey, great job as always.
A nuts edition of what's trending.
JB, you nuts.
Hopefully mailbag is a little less nutty. It is Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by Feldman. We have some business
Automotive Group. Of course, Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet. They helped me out. They can help you out as well. And come see us next time we're there.
I like the way Flannel started singing kind of like towards the end of that.
Right?
that
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
did
you know what?
I?
I gotta we have to do some type of like karaoke on the show one day.
I mean, I suppose I'll oblige.
I suppose. We're trying to gain viewers here.
That's fair. That's fair.
You do not want to hear me sing a single note of any song. Ever.
Hey,
Ever. You're not mic'd up.
Rotor
is so fucking.
We consistently have had more viewers than you need.
Whoa. We're not trashing our own
you
network.
can
Whoa. I gotta keep this mic here.
Broder is a cloud.
What? To show you my big stick.
Man. Oh,
Zing.
goodness.
We got some mailbag questions. Hey, we got some mailbag questions
Mailbag got
directed. I'm going to start with a couple. I hope you're ready, Flannel. There are a couple directed your direction.
I see one.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be the first, second, or third one I read, but first one, Ed O'Neill, mailbag. Who are the 3 teams well equipped to stop Sam from realizing his dreams of a Chiefs three-peat in
that's
parentheses?
my dream. Oh, that's my dream.
So 3 teams to stop the Chiefs.
That is not my dream. However, if it happens, it would be my second favorite outcome. But that's neither here nor there. Man, that's actually tough. I guess you'd have to include the Ravens, although I don't trust Lamar in the playoffs. Maybe the Bengals, and you know what? As long as Josh Allen's still a quarterback, give me the Bills.
He's going Bills. Sam, Michael Lucci's asked Mailbag, what prospect is Sam most excited about writing off after media coverage of today's OTAs?
Writing off prospects, because that's what I do. You know what? Who have I written off in the past? I mean,
maybe a JMO reference a little bit.
Yeah.
I've had moments where I've maybe written them off a little bit, but that's all good. Nobody. I have too much faith in Brad Holmes right now.
All right.
To make a judgment like that so soon.
We'll see during training. We'll give it a couple
We'll
weeks.
revisit this.
Yes. We'll give it okay, one more here from I think you guys are best friends in real life, like outside of the chat. But Shad216JF, Mailbag, why are Detroit fans always so eager to quit on a season? Last year, they were ready to quit on the Lions after the Seahawks game. It's pathetic. Quitters don't deserve to win. I think that was inspired by the Tigers statement earlier in the show.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the first response because it was actually a real question. It wasn't just at you.
No, see, I don't think Lions fans were ready to quit after the Seahawks game, because going into the season, there was expectations that they would win the division. And obviously that Seahawks loss was disappointing, but that made them 1-1.
Yeah.
With the Tigers, we kind of know where their deficiencies are. And even some of the things that we think are not deficiencies, like, Mark Canna, Riley Green, for example, the bullpen, the starting pitching, even they have scuffled to some extent lately. With the Tigers, it's more of a realization of, I may have been duped a little bit. I may have believed a little bit too much in guys who had a small sample size, like a Spencer Torkelson, for example, or even Parker Meadows, or even if you want to go with Jake Rogers, who was second on the team in home runs last year. Those are the guys that have really kind of let me down, and I think let a lot of fans down, honestly.
I think
I actually gave you a serious answer, Shad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think, though, it's because of the track record that's been there.
Yeah.
We're used to
Good
being
point.
let down.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's easy for us to jump off the bandwagon. When we look at how many days, in between the last real playoff appearances, obviously the Pistons made a couple playoff appearances, one under SVG, one under Dwayne. I mean, real playoff appearances. It's a long time.
Right.
So any glimmer of hope we see, we've gotten excited in the past and then instantly gut punch. So I don't know if it's necessarily jumping off or if it's easy to jump off, but more or less kind of protecting the fandom. Because one thing I know about anybody from this area who cheers for Detroit sports, we love hard and we get hurt when our teams let us down.
It's big facts.
I think it might be a little bit more about that than anything.
It's big facts.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and I hate to be this person, but if I didn't do this for a living, I probably would check out from the Tigers for at least this series and kind of reevaluate after we see what happens. But I can't, obviously. So I'll still be tuning in. Hey. Right. I'm sure there were games you didn't want to go to.
Hey, Sam, I do want to ask you a question real quick. Since we did our top 3 heartbreaks, where does the Appalachian State loss rank on your
That's a good question.
Michigan
Michigan losses?
Like platinum. That's whatever's more expensive than gold.
No, actually, it would be like 4 or 5.
Okay.
It was pretty bad though.
It was.
Yeah, it was
First
Great
game of the year.
game. Just great game from Appalachian State.
Here go this
Hands off,
hater over here.
That's the Spartan shit. That's the jumping on the Appalachian State bandwagon.
Right.
But I don't even know if you knew they were a college before that win.
No,
I did not.
Thank you. By the way, that was my recruiting visit.
Broder with his
Ooh.
rivalry, his kind rivalry talk though. It's courteous rivalry.
It's different. I've been going back and forth. One of my guys, Mark Dell, who was a wide receiver for Michigan State back in that 2008-2012 time frame. We were going back on the transfer trade of like, man, once you throw on the green or you throw on the maize and blue, you don't switch jerseys ever. You find any other college to go to keep playing.
I forget sometimes that Rod Beard is a Michigan man, like literally a Michigan grad, worked there covering Michigan basketball for some time. So when he said that yesterday, I went back and listened to the show. He was like, "You never see this. It never."
Yeah.
I sensed it. I was like, you know what? Michigan dude, man. Michigan guy.
Michigan dude.
Yeah.
How about this one? This isn't. I don't think any of us can truly answer this, but I'm gonna say it because he's the dude. Nick Heitchen, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Nick in the chat says mailbag. I gotta read closely. If Tadej Pogacar wins the Giro and the Tour, should he shoot for the trifecta and race Vuelta as well? So Nick's a cyclist. He's a cyclist, so this is a competitive cycling reference.
You know what?
Okay. Look at Sam roll his eyes.
You're not gonna legend kill Nick.
You asking me that?
No, I'm not going to legend kill Nick. It's just tell your guys to stop doping.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nah,
Jokes.
Nick Hedingen, I think it's pronounced Hedingen. You're a valued member of the Woodward Sports Chat. It's just the one sport we might not cover is cycling.
Yeah.
Maybe during Tour de France time,
Yeah.
I'll get on somebody's bandwagon. But
Not
we'll
even.
see.
Not even.
I probably won't. No, I won't.
Right. Not
Cycling athletes
strong.
are insane. Like waking up early, like the amount of miles they log. He said, and it's Nick's story to tell, so I won't go in deep. I know he's dealing with something medically, but he went out yesterday and had his best 20, 30, 40-minute power with legs to spear. I may be getting the language wrong, but shout out to you. Here's one I just saw pop up from Eric Burrow. Mailbag, beginning losses or undefeated until game 8 of the Detroit Lions season. So let me rephrase that a little clearer. Like, how many wins until their first loss? Can they start 8-0? That first 8, those first 9 weeks, first 8 games they play is probably their easiest stretch. What do you guys think? When do the Lions get their first loss?
Ooh, that's tough. I predicted they would lose to the Cardinals, so that's a pretty quick loss. But they're going to lose some games. To go 8-0, I'm not saying it's not possible. It definitely is, especially, with where this team is at. But that's tough to just run the table out the gate like that. So I got them dropping at least one during that stretch.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to start similarly to last year, not dropping any back-to-back games, but losing a game per quarter of the season to start 6-2.
The Cardinals, eh?
I know it sounds crazy.
No, I understand. It happens to teams. I'm looking. They played Dallas game 5.
That's the game I'm thinking.
Coming
of.
off the bye week, that's a must win to me, though.
Well,
It's a
yeah,
must-win,
coming off the
but
bye week
still.
for sure. Yeah, they got at Minnesota and at Green Bay. I think they'll lose at least one of those 3. But that would still make them 7-1. And even if they lose 2 of those 3, and if they win the rest of them, that's still a good start.
Damn right.
All right, last one, 10-1. We're a minute behind. Do you guys remember the show Celebrity Deathmatch?
Absolutely.
Where it's the
Favorite
little
shit.
the clay celebrities.
Claymation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rando Smalls asked this a little earlier in the chat. He says, and this kind of fits the theme, the Drake and the Kendrick beef, all this stuff happening in society today. Who would be your celebrity death match you'd want to see today? If
Diddy
that show were
versus R.
airing
Kelly
today.
versus Bill Cosby. Lock him in the octagon. Go.
Wait, what?
No.
Jeez. Who?
Wait, what?
Whoa.
How'd y'all pick up my phone for a second? What?
JELLO.
Oh, man.
Who'd you pick with Bill Cosby?
I said Diddy, R. Kelly, and Cosby. Lock them in the ring. Go.
Wow. The rings on Epstein Island, probably.
Right.
Oh,
Celebrity death match. This maybe isn't as exciting. Just the first thing that popped into my head. Like
Ben
a Caitlin
Wallace
Clark,
versus Ron
Angel
Artest.
Reese. What?
Ben Wallace, Ron Artest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll see that one.
Do they still hate each other?
Yeah.
Or do they hate each
I
other?
think so.
Actually, I don't know. We got to interview Ron Artest. You remember that, JB?
Yeah, I do.
We got to talk to him, and Ron Artest actually said, we interviewed him, that he's cool with those Pistons. He thinks that they're one of the best teams of all time. And he believes, Flannel, don't pick a fight with Ron Artest, but he believes that their entire starting 5 deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
That's what's up.
Tayshaun.
He believes it, man. That's Ron Artest. Got
Hey.
it on wax.
No,
Reggie Miller, Spike Lee, Charles Oakley in New York.
I've got one that I would like to see
versus James Dolan.
that I would
that.
like to see
Oakley versus
selfishly,
Dolan.
but it would be a beatdown. I would like to see LeBron and Curry.
Wow.
Yeah, Steph Curry won that one.
Ah,
Yeah.
But mine, Flannel versus Ben
Mayweather
Wallace.
yes.
Flannel versus Ben Wallace. Perfect.
But yeah, that wouldn't go well for me.
Right.
What about Jim Harbaugh versus Ryan Day?
Oh, that's a
Ooh,
great
that's
one.
nice.
Or Tony
That's nice.
Petiti?
Jim Harbaugh versus Jim Schwartz.
Oh,
The
yeah.
revisit. Jim Harbaugh versus Ward Manuel. Do you guys see that
know
letter?
what? You know what?
There's
Yeah.
stuff starting to come out about Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel not having, like, part of the reason he decided to move on we may have to wait till Tuesday for that conversation.
Connor Stallions versus Mel Tucker.
Ooh, rake in the chat. Flannel versus D-Mac. That would not go well for me.
Absolutely not.
Neil versus El Mago, Dabber.
Right. No, that's electric.
Cats versus D-Mac.
Yes, and but by the way, Nick Hedigen, I took an unnecessary shot at your sport. That was that was my bad. That was my bad.
Oh man.
To be honest, Lance Armstrong, that was the biggest issue. Lance Armstrong was one of the biggest athletes in the world.
He was juicing,
and that paints such a bad image of the sport when your number. It's like if LeBron got caught.
Yeah.
You know, or we find out Anthony Edwards in this playoffs is steroids or so. I don't know. You know,
it feels a little high strung though, because with baseball, a lot of us are just like, I hear people, let them do it.
I'm back.
But with cycling, we're like, oh my god,
it was different.
You were juiced and dope when the whole sport is doing it though.
But in baseball, that was the most exciting period of baseball. Period.
But in the cycling, that was the most exciting. But Lance Armstrong, what was more exciting than that era?
Kool-Aid, you were absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Man.
We got to be consistent.
We have to.
And oh, by the way, put Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame. Come on, dude.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yes.
By the way, I think Adderall is more of a performance-enhancing drug in baseball than steroids.
Adderall, really?
Like you take all the steroids you want and get strong, and
I want the
you're
best.
bad.
Still
Like,
gotta hit the
you
ball.
still gotta hit the ball.
Thank you. I've been saying that for years, bro.
Like, if you were able to concentrate and
That
focus
hand-eye
more.
coordination.
Oh yeah, like I think that's more important. Of course, if you have that eye, Barry Bonds able to put 73 home runs.
Hey,
P. Rose in there too.
I see your celebrity death match. I'm not gonna read it, but I see it, brother. Oh my god.
How about golf versus Stafford, man?
That's
a good one.
Let's recreate that.
Hey, Crystal with the X versus Broder, Randall Smalls.
No,
Please.
we don't want to see that. Only Broder want to see
That's
that.
the old school celebrity death match in the tub of gelatin, chocolate, lube, hot sauce, Frank's.
You want a pudding match with her?
Hey, Caden Kelder wants to remind us: don't do drugs, kid.
Hey, wake up Woodward versus them kids.
Hey,
Boo them kids.
Boo them kids.
This is a fun end to the show.
That is.
Take us out, Kool-Aid. Thank you,
let's
Chad.
wrap it up, man. Let's wrap it up. Always play it safe. Shout out to Justin, our sixth man of the squad. Thank you for everything you do for the team. Just walked into the door and you're asking to do anything you can to help Woodward Sports. So we appreciate you, brother. And chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of the show. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the morning with the Woo Crew. And that is our vet of the squad, Mr. Flannel Sam. Hey, brought the heat today.
Hey, I do my best, but on the hockey segment, I was set up very well by intern Justin, Korean Jesus, who knows more puck than I do for sure. So shout out.
Puck knower.
Puck knower. He's the puck knower.
Hey, you know what? We got Justin. You got the boom mic, man. Say what up, though, to the people.
Hey, shout out the Woo. The Woo's the GOAT. And I wouldn't be able to do it without any of the support from you guys. You guys make this shit possible, especially Kool-Aid with all his graphics, JB with his graphics. Everyone else does their thing with the sports, and everyone else does everything with the sports. So love you all. Love you, chat. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate it.
Keep doing what you do, brother. Keep doing what you do. Shout out to Broder, too, man. You know,
I didn't even get a thank you for holding the mic. All these thank yous. I'm
Lion, the
messing with you.
Tigers credential beat reporter Matt Broder, also one of the guys that helps organize this show. He keeps us on target. Like I go to sleep and when I wake up, I hear 8 o'clock, and I'm just like, oh my god.
So when we start at 8 o'clock, you're welcome.
Mr. Bro.
I was kidding. I love you guys.
Love you, bro. You know what? We got to talk about this elite, wonderful, miraculous, stupendous booth. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth, rookie of the year, going for MVP next season. That's KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood.
Yes, sir. Hey, shout out to the chat. Love y'all, man. Shout out to my amazing team. I love y'all, man. And let's keep this shit rolling, man.
Let's go. Let's go. We got JBSMOOOOOV in the TD booth. That is Woodward Sports MVP.
Yo, I still hate Cam Newton. I'm sorry. That's fine. I still hate Cam Newton. Shout out. Amazing show, you guys. We do this every single morning. I'm more than happy to do this with you guys every single morning as well, too. Still looking for a WNBA player to call me up and, fly me out. So.
Hey, let's
JB trying to get flued out, man. Y'all help my bro out, man.
Hey, and Dabber in the chat, Flannel versus J-Mo. Again, that would not go very well for me. He's a professional athlete, but I can see why you would put that.
Yo, we're going to have one where we actually select a celebrity or athlete we think we can actually That would be a cool segment. That would be a cool segment. But it's your boy Brandon Day, aka Detroit Kool-Aid. Your credentialed Detroit Pistons reporter. Hopefully these other 3 teams, they stop being the problems.
Yeah.
So a part of that 99 problems. But we know the Lions are not one OTAs. It's football in the air. The sun is shining. Appreciate you guys. Smash that like button on your way out if you haven't already. We hope that you have a great day. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Have a blessed one, y'all.